Good morning, everybody. Happy April 1st, April Fool's Day. I hope you haven't been playing too many tricks on your family. Nobody has played any tricks on me, and I haven't been playing any tricks on my family. All right, in all seriousness now, we need to read the next 2 chapters in Sunset of the Sabertooth and find out what happened to Jack and Annie. If you remember, on Monday, we left Jack and Annie inside of a cave. That's right. And when Annie was adventuring inside that cave in the dark, she discovered bones. That's right. Bones of the great cave bear who was more ferocious than today's grizzly bear. Oh no. What's going to happen to them? Let's find out. Chapter 3 is called Annie! Whispered Jack again. No answer. He put his book quietly into his backpack and stepped closer to the cave. Annie! He said a little louder. Jack stepped on the bones. The wet dog smell got stronger. He kept going deeper into the smelly blackness. He ran into something and gasped. Jack, said Annie. Is that you? Didn't you hear me calling? Jack whispered. We have got to get out of here. Wait, she said. Somebody's sleeping back there. Don't you hear him snoring? Jack heard a low, deep moaning. It was loud and then soft, and then loud and then soft. That's not a person, he said. It's a great cave bear. A booming snore shattered the air. Yikes, said Annie. Go, said Jack. He and Annie ran through the cave, over the bones, and out into the falling snow. They kept on going. They ran between fallen rocks and under jagged cliffs. Finally, they stopped and turned around. All they could see was snow and rocks and their own footsteps. No bear. Phew, said Annie. That was lucky. Yeah, said Jack. He probably never even woke up. We just got in a panic. Annie huddled close to Jack. Brr, I'm freezing, he said. Me too, said Annie. Jack took off his glasses to wipe off the snow. The cold wind blew against his bare legs. Wow, said Annie. Look. She pointed to something behind Jack. What? Jack put his glasses on and turned around. Under a cliff was a wide ledge. Under the ledge was another cave. Only this cave seemed to have a golden glow inside. This one looked cozy and safe and warm. Chapter 4, Cave Kids. Jack and Annie crept into the cave and peeked inside. A small flame danced from a bed of glowing coals. Near the fire were knives and axes and hollowed-out stones. Animal skins were neatly stacked against the wall. People must live here, said Annie. Maybe it's the home of the Cro-Magnons. The ones we saw on the ridge, said Jack, looking around. Let's go inside and get warm, said Annie. Jack and Annie moved quickly to the fire and warmed their hands. Their shadows danced on the stone walls. Jack pulled out his Ice Age book. He found a picture of a cave and read out loud. Cro-Magnons made many things from animals, plants, and stone. They made flute-like musical instruments from mammoth bones. They made ropes by braiding plant fibers. They made axes and knives from stones. Jack pulled out his notebook and pencil and started making a list. Cro-Magnons made bone flutes, plant ropes, stone axes and knives. Ta-da! Said Annie. Jack looked up. Annie was wearing a coat. It had a hood and long sleeves. It went all the way down to her sneakers. Where did you get that? Asked Jack. From a pile of furry skins, said Annie, pointing. This must be their clothes. Maybe they're over here to be mended. She picked up another coat and handed it to Jack. Here, try this one. It's really warm, she said. Jack put on his backpack and his towel down on the hard dirt floor and slipped on the coat. It did feel very warm and soft. We look like cave kids, said Annie. Squeak! Peanut peeked out of Jack's backpack lying on the floor. You stay in there, said Annie. There's no teeny coats out here for you. Peanut vanished back into the backpack. I wonder how they made these coats, said Jack. He turned the pages of his book until he found a picture of Cro-Magnon women sewing and read, Cro-Magnons scraped reindeer skins with flint rocks to make them soft. They used bone needles to sew skins together to make clothes. Jack added that to his list. Reindeer skin clothes. I hope the cave people won't mind if we borrow their coats, said Jack. Maybe we should leave them our towels, said Annie, to thank them. That's a good idea, said Jack. And I'll leave my goggles too, said Annie. They left their gifts on top of the rest of the animal skins. Let's explore the cave before they come home, said Jack. It's too dark in the back, said Annie. We won't be able to see anything. I'll find out how Cro-Magnons saw in the dark, said Jack. He opened the Ice Age book and found a picture of cave people holding odd-looking lamps and read out loud to Annie. Cro-Magnons made stone lamps. They hollowed out a rock, filled it with some animal fat, and then burned a wick that they made from moss. There, said Annie. She pointed to 2 stones near the fire. In the hollow of each was gooey white stuff, and then a pile of moss. We have to be careful, said Jack. He picked up one stone. It was smaller than a soup bowl, but so much heavier. Jack held the stone close to the fire and lit the piece of moss. He lit another lamp and gave it to Annie. Carry it with 2 hands, he said. I know, she said. Jack tucked the book under his arm, and he and Annie carried their stone lamps to the back of the cave. Hey, I wonder where this goes, said Annie. She held her lamp up to the opening in the wall. I'll check the book, said Jack. He put down his lamp and flipped through the Ice Age book. I think it's a tunnel, she said. I'll be right back. No, wait a second, said Jack. Too late. She had squeezed into the opening and was gone. Oh, brother, said Jack, sighing. He closed his book and peeked into the opening. Come back here, he called. No, said Annie. You come in here. Her voice sounded far away. You're not gonna believe this. Jack picked up his lamp and the book and ducked into the small tunnel. Wow, came Annie's voice. Jack could see her lamp flickering at the other end. Crouching down, he hurried over towards her. At the end of the tunnel was a huge cavern with a high ceiling. Cavern's kind of like a chamber. Annie held her lamp close to the wall. Look, she said. Her voice echoed. Animals were painted on the wall in strokes of red and black and yellow. There were cave bears and lions, elk and reindeer, bison and woolly rhinos, and mammoths. In the flickering light, the prehistoric beasts looked like they were alive. So just like in the story we read yesterday, the first drawing right behind me, they went into a cave and saw some cool hunting stories that those Cro-Magnons had been involved in. All right, your job, remember, I want you to turn to somebody that's near you, and I want you to share 1 or 2 things you remember from these chapters. That's going to help you remember what you can write and draw about tomorrow in your chapter summary book. All right, my friends, until tomorrow, have lots of fun today. I love you.